What's the real cost of working with clients who just aren't the right fit? It's a question that doesn't get asked enough, but it quietly shapes the careers of even the best agents. Let's look at what actually happens when you fill your calendar with the wrong prospects, and why it matters so much more than just a few lost sales. Picture this: two agents, both with solid experience, both offering similar products, both putting in the same hours and effort. Agent A is all about activity. Their calendar is packed with anyone willing to book a call. It looks productive, lots of conversations, lots of follow-up, always something happening. But after 6 months, Agent A is running on empty. The days are filled with endless check-ins, prospects who keep saying, "Let me think about it," and a sense that nothing is really moving forward. Now, Agent B takes a different approach. Instead of chasing volume, they focus on who they're actually speaking with. They're not looking for people who are ready to buy on the spot, but for people who are genuinely ready to have a real conversation. When these prospects show up, they know why they booked. They're engaged, they ask thoughtful questions, and the conversation feels collaborative. Both agents have the same skills and the same drive. The difference isn't talent. It's not even about who's more persuasive. The real difference is in the readiness of the people they're talking to. Not readiness to buy, but readiness to actually engage in a meaningful conversation. It's easy to blame bad fit clients on personality. Maybe you've heard it or said it yourself. These people just weren't serious, or they wasted my time. But most of the time, it's not about difficult people. It's about conversational readiness. Bad fit prospects aren't bad people. They're just not prepared to engage when the call happens. And no amount of sales skill can fully fix that. Think about what makes a good sales conversation. It's a partnership. As the agent, you're responsible for discovery, for educating, for offering advice, and for guiding someone through their options. But the prospect has a role too. They need to bring intent, honesty, openness, and a willingness to engage. Notice what's not required. They don't have to be ready to buy right now. They just need to be ready to think. Bad fit prospects blur that line. They show up casually, maybe out of curiosity, maybe because they clicked a link without really thinking it through. They haven't considered their problem, and they're not sure what they want out of the conversation. Suddenly, you're not guiding someone through a decision. You're trying to convince them that the conversation even matters. That's a completely different starting point, and it changes everything. So what's the toll of working with bad fit clients? First, you spend your energy just trying to create engagement instead of advancing the conversation. Instead of moving someone through a thoughtful decision process, you're explaining the basics from scratch, trying to create urgency where none exists, and having the same conversations over and over. You're chasing follow-up that feels forced, and you're not helping anyone think more clearly. You're just trying to manufacture engagement. That's exhausting, and it doesn't scale. Second, your sales process itself starts to warp. When your calendar is full of unready conversations, you find yourself reteaching instead of advising, re-justifying instead of guiding, and revisiting objections before you've even finished discovery. You're not building toward clarity, you're building toward convincing. And that subtle shift changes your energy on every call. Third, and maybe most quietly, your confidence takes a hit. Even experienced agents feel it. After weeks of low engagement calls, you start to wonder, is this even a real opportunity? Or, am I about to waste 2 more weeks following up? It's easy to blame the market, but often it's not the market. It's the quality of conversations you're having. When the right conversations happen, selling feels collaborative. When they don't, it feels like pushing a boulder uphill. Most agents don't intentionally choose bad fit prospects. They end up with them because of broad targeting, low intent marketing, open booking systems, and a focus on volume over quality. When you let everything in, sales becomes the filter, and sales is the most expensive place to filter out the wrong prospects. So what does a good fit prospect look like? They're not necessarily ready to sign on the spot, but they know why they booked, they understand the topic they want to explore, they respect your time, and they're open to a real conversation. They don't need pressure, they need clarity. And that's very different from expecting every prospect to be purchase ready. This is where better appointment systems make a difference. Not because they fill your calendar with people who are ready to buy immediately, but because they connect you with people who are ready to engage. There's momentum in the conversation. Even if it takes multiple calls, The discussion moves forward instead of restarting from scratch every time. That's the difference between a sales process that does its job and a sales process that's constantly trying to create its own oxygen. At RevinX, the focus isn't on filling calendars with buyers. It's on helping agents have meaningful conversations with prospects who are ready to engage. From there, your sales process can do what it's supposed to do. If this perspective resonates with you, you can find more context at revinx.com. No pressure, because the real cost of bad fit prospects isn't just lost commissions. It's the emotional drag of wondering whether the next call is even a real conversation. And that cost adds up quietly, call after call, until it's impossible to ignore.